Today I'm going to talk to you about 5S systems. Most of you are probably looking at me going, what's 5S? Well, 5S is lean manufacturing terminology that there's 5 different steps involved in it for cleaning up, organizing, making things more efficient. Today I'm going to tell you how to apply 5S to an everyday environment. Most of you have dealt with frustration. You go looking for through your garage, trying to find tools, trying to find something somewhere in your house, and you can't find it. That's where 5S comes in. 5S can take a shop area, garage, closet, anything as such that looks like this, and turn it into a neat, labeled, organized area to where everything's in its place and can be put back in its place for you to easily find later on. The steps in 5S are sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. I will talk about each one of these steps individually as I progress through the speech today. First, I'm going to talk about sort. Sort is the first step in the 5S process. It removes excess tools. If you have 3 or 4 different wrenches, say in your garage, you can limit it down to 1 that may be the best. It eliminates wasted time. You don't have to go out to your garage and search through 500 different wrenches that are all on the box that you just threw over in the corner. You can go out, find it immediately, and go on about what you need to do. Thirdly, it eliminates safety hazards. You've got tangled up extension cords laying on the floor. The red tag process is a method of going through each of these steps in the sort step of the 5S process. You can go through as you're going through the things in your garage, and you can red tag the ones that may be questionable as to whether or not you need it or not. And you can go back later on and go through each one of the red tagged areas, or the red tagged items, and decide, okay, I don't need this, I can get rid of it. That's when you start getting into the set and order stage. The set and order stage is when you take all the tools, items and such that you have left over, and you organize them into their needed area. A way that you can do this is by outlining your tools, say on a pegboard. Put them up on the pegboard, draw a line around them. That way, when that tool is removed, you know exactly where it was. And say you walk into the garage and you notice, oh wait, there should be a hammer there. Next, you have shadow boxing. Shadow boxing is where you take the foam, you can lay it in a toolbox drawer or on your countertop in your garage, cut out around it. Some of them even have prefabricated shadow boxes. Then there's labeling as well. You can have certain areas, say, designated as your work area. You can tag it, tape it off. All of these steps are to make things easy access, so you can get to them quickly. When you set them in order, you want to set them in order for frequency of use. The more often you use something, you want to make it to where it's the easier to get to. All of this information has come from a 2010 article called the 5S User's Guide. It was generated by CreativeSafetySupply.com. Lastly, your tools that are used together, store together. Any of them that you say often you use, maybe a sawhorse and say a circular saw. You want to have them in relatively the same area. That way you can get to both of them quickly and easily. The next step in the 5S process is shine. Shine is the process of removing your dirt in the area. You want to sweep, mop. It's not just your responsibility, but it's everyone's responsibility to keep things in that order. You want to get everything as neat and as orderly as possible and keep it that way. Also, you want to set up a design plan or a maintenance plan, so that way you can check the lubrication of your tools, say weed eaters, pliers, so on and so forth, your lawnmower. Set up your maintenance schedule, that way you don't have things broke down and when you need them the most. The next step is standardize. Standardize is the process of creating tasks and procedures to ensure that 5S is performed. Now, this is like telling your kids that, hey, on this day we're going to go through the garage and we're going to mop and sweep and clean, or having that schedule that things are going to be done. Now I say here that it says employees know the responsibility. This is where I've gotten my information. I had in Introduction to Materials Management by Arnold J. The Total Quality Management says that you need to make sure that all of your employees are aware of the processes and procedures that are to maintain a 5S system. You need to make it a part of the daily routine. So every time that you finish a project, everything goes back where it's supposed to go. You need to evaluate on a regular basis. Make sure that you go back and you're making sure that everybody is putting everything back where it's supposed to go. Finally, you have to sustain this process. It doesn't do you any good to it doesn't do you any good to make the effort to put forth a 5S system if you can't sustain it. You have to make sure that you get your sorting stays organized, that there's not clutter that continues to get added, that that you leave in there shine time, as some people have called it. For instance, in the book of Systems for Planning and Controlling and Manufacturing by Peter Harrison, 2002, suggested that you incorporate shine time into everyday work environments, either at the end of the day or just before lunch. You can do this, say, in the middle of a project or the end of a project. Create checklists to make sure that they are doing the shine times, that they have put everything back that say they've used. And then create rewards. Say if everybody goes a week in your house without losing any tools or misplacing anything or breaking any tools, for instance, then maybe there's a reward. They get a little extra allowance or something to that effect. And make sure that everyone is involved. Whether it's a big corporation or it's a hometown garage, everyone needs to be involved regardless. And have little reminders here and there. Say as you're leaving the shop, say, hey, did you put everything away? Maybe a little note here and there. I want to thank you guys for your time, and hope you have a wonderful evening.